Shalom, shalom. What a joy it is to be alive, to be able to witness the things that are happening in these last days, how the prophecies are coming to fulfillment, and how the mystery of Messiah is resurfacing again in these last days amongst the true believers, and to see the true name of the Most High Yahuwah go forth in the earth, and the true name of His Son Yahushua, which means Yahuwah the Father, gives salvation and gives deliverance, that it is being restored in the mouths of the people. And we give so much thanks to Yahuwah for this. Today I want to do a study regarding the Mashiach and the relationship that the Messiah, the Mashiach, had with the Father in the beginning. Let's start this study in the book of Yahuchanan, or John, in Yahuchanan, John chapter 1, verse 1, with the all-familiar passage. I call this teaching today Malak YaHuWaH, which means messenger Yahuwah. And we're going to expound on the ancient mysteries of the Messiah all the way through the Torah, but we're going to start this study in what is called the New or Renewed Testament or Covenant, the Brit Hadashah, in John, Yahuchanan chapter 1, verse 1. It reads, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Aluahym, and the Word was Aluahym." Okay, now it is important to get back to the root of the faith here, because of course Yahuchanan is giving us a revelation that if we read in the English, we see in the beginning, it reminds us of Genesis. But if we look in the scriptures in the Aramaic and the codexes of the Aramaic text, we see here for Yahuchanan or John, it starts out with the phrase Bereshith, which means in the beginning. Now Bereshith is the very first line of the Hebrew scriptures in what is called Genesis of the Torah, okay? And it says in the beginning, right? And then it goes on to say how Yahuwah created the heavens and earth and all these things. It begins in Hebrew Bereshith. So we know here that this teaching, this study is coming from the original scriptures in the very beginning. John, the disciple, the taught one, the Talmudim, is going to be giving us a lesson showing the Mashiach in the very beginning, in the book of Genesis, or what is called in Hebrew Bereshith, just like this first word is in the Aramaic. So in Aramaic it says Bereshith, in the beginning was and the word in Aramaic for word here is miltha. So in the beginning was the miltha. Now the miltha in Aramaic doesn't just mean a word. It means a manifestation, an image, a likeness, a similitude. This is very important in the key understanding of what is being brought forth here. Now when we look in the Greek, we are going to see that the word for word here is logos. Now logos implies a logo, that's where we get our modern understanding of the term logo. And a logo represents something, something kind of, an image, this simplified, so to speak, but it all represents something deeper. Now the reason that I don't want to use the term logos here is because A, we know that the early believers were Hebrews. They spoke Hebrew. Now I'm referring to the Aramaic because our Hebrew scriptures have been they've been stolen, they've been burned, they've been ridiculed throughout history. All you've got to do is begin to do some studying on the origin of the New Testament. You will see that there are Hebrew words in the Greek New Testament, Hebrew phrases. There's no doubt that even Yahushua spoke Hebrew, according to the book of Acts. When he spoke to Shaul, who is called Paul, on the road to Damascus, it says that he spoke in the Hebrew tongue. It even says this in the Greek language. So we know that the original revelation is Hebrew. However, Aramaic was a spoken language at the time in the land of Israel also. And it is a Shemitic language, and it has the same aleph bet, the same letters, it just, different words and different things like that. So we do have access to that. So when we go back to it, we get a more core understanding of what the early believers were trying to teach us. So in the beginning was this image, this word, this embodiment, so to speak, this symbol, this likeness and similitude. In the beginning was this similitude, and it was some type of word, some type of creative power. And the Word was with Aluahym. Now the word Elohim means the powers, okay? Aloah is singular, Aluahym is plural. It means mighty ones. It means the powers, the authorities, okay? Now your scriptures, you probably see God. God is the name of a pagan deity in the Hebrew scriptures. In the book of Isaiah 65:11 says, you are those who forsake Yahuwah, who prepare a table for. Your King James Version probably says that troop. You probably have a number 1 beside it. If you go look in the margin, you will see GAD, which is pronounced God, even by lexicon software and different things you can see online. It is pronounced to be God. Even and Jews today recognize this, even though they will still use the term at times. Some of them will. But it's a pagan name. We don't use this for the Most High Yahuwah because we've come to a greater understanding. We know that He is Yahuwah. He is set apart. He is not to be called these things. He can be called Elohim, however, which means the authorities. So in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the authorities, the powers that created all things, and the Word was the powers and the authorities. You know, He was with Elohim, and He was Elohim. Now there's a very deep understanding here. Verse 2, He was in the beginning with Elohim, and all came to be through Him, and without Him not even one came to be that came to be. Now, this is speaking of. Now remember when I opened up, I began to talk about how the very first phrase is in the beginning, Bereshith. Now when we go to Genesis, which is called Bereshith in Hebrew, and we look at the phrase in the beginning, again it's Bereshith. Now if we continue to read, Bereshith means in a beginning. Not the necessarily, but in a beginning. The next word is bara. Now this is the word for create. It's a type of creation that only the Most High does when He creates. Bara. So Bereshith bara, Elohim. So in the beginning created Elohim, and then we have the revelation next to the Elohim. It is what is called a direct indicator in the Hebrew tongue, and it is the first and last letter of the Hebrew Aleph Beit. It is the Aleph and the Taw. And the Aleph and the Taw are used together to show the complete range of letters, to show the first and the last. It gives a great understanding, a deeper mystery. Now, even modern Judaism agrees that this is important in this line of scripture, because in their understanding, this is where Yahuwah created the Aleph Beit, the Hebrew letters, and from those Hebrew letters, He began to speak and create all things. Now, we know that this is important because Yahushua says that He is the Aleph Taw in the book of Revelation. We know that He is the creative power of Yahuwah, who was in the beginning with Yahuwah. And notice that the Aleph Taw is directly beside Elohim. He is with Elohim, and yet the Aleph Taw implies a direct indicator pointing to the word Elohim, indicating that it is with Elohim and that it is Elohim. All right. So in the beginning, Bereshith, bara, Elohim at, or Aleph Taw. Okay, in the beginning, created Elohim, Aleph Taw, and then the next word is Hashemayim, which means the heavens, and then is Uat, which is and Aleph Taw, Haaretz, which is the earth. Okay, but you see that Yahuwah uses the Aleph Taw to create both things, that He has used the range of letters to speak. It says that Yahuwah spoke these things into being when you begin to read on in the scriptures, that He Yamar, that He spoke. Okay, and with His words He created all the things that we see, the basic elements and principles of life, and the physical and the unphysical. Now, this is beautiful because we have to think about what words truly mean. Words, as the scriptures teach us, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. This is what Yahushua taught, from the abundance of the heart. So this Aleph Taw, this range of letters, was in the heart of Yahuwah in the beginning. It was in Yahuwah, with Yahuwah. It was a part of Yahuwah, the mind and the creative power and the personality of Yahuwah inside of Him. And He used the Aleph Taw to create all the things that we see and all the things that are unseen also that are around us. Now, this is very beautiful. This is what the true teaching that Yahuwah was trying to teach here. But you see, now in mainstream modern Western Christianity, the Shemitic roots of the faith have been completely eliminated. So therefore, they refer to the Son as the Logos, which is a pagan word. Again, remember I was telling you about that word Logos earlier. It means an image, and it does imply a word that's behind the image, just like the word Miltha does. But Logos is the name of a Greek pagan deity. You see, the scriptures warns us that we can't call Yahuwah the names of pagan mighty ones or foreign mighty ones, or teach in the names of pagan or foreign mighty ones. There was a death penalty that was involved according to the Torah of Moses, Moshe, which is actually the Torah of Yahuwah. It was given by Yahuwah. So we can't do that. So we got to get back to the original and understand that what Yahuwah was teaching here is that Yahushua is the Aleph Tau. He is the word that was in the beginning that was used to create all things. He was with Yahuwah since the very beginning, one with him in the very beginning. Okay, in verse 4, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. There was a man sent from Aluahym, whose name was Yahuwah. This one came for a witness to bear witness of the light, that all might believe through him. He was not that light. And this is talking about John the Immerser or the Baptist. He was not that light, but that he might bear witness of that light. See, there was a witness to bear witness of the true light, to say that it was good. Just like when Yahuwah created the light, he saw that it was Tob, it was good. Okay? He was the true light which enlightens every man coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world came to be through him. And the world did not know him, because he's the Aleph Tau. He walked this earth, and they did not perceive that he was their origin. He was where they came from. He is the focal point of life. He came to his own, and his own did not receive him. Yahuwah had made a covenant with the children of Yisrael, through Abraham, through Ishak and Jacob, and on through Moshe, and through the children of Yisrael. Okay? So, he had made this covenant, and the Son of Yahuwah, who had created all things, came through the loins of David to be brothers with the people, and to live amongst those people. And yet they did not recognize him. Many did, in actuality, just to set the record straight. I mean, because all of his earlier disciples were Hebrew people. But anyway, let's continue on. But as many as received him, to them he gave the authority to become children of Elohim, to those believing in his name. This is a very core revelation. Even Christianity acknowledges this. They refer to people like myself as sacred namers and the like, whereas they themselves also believe there is a name to call on for salvation. They just believe that it is JESUS or GOD or something like it. However, those are not names or words that we can use for the Almighty according to the Scriptures. Okay, remember there's a death penalty in speaking in the name of foreign mighty ones, and again, Isaiah 65:11 tells you God is the name of a pagan deity. All right, and Jesus and all those names, those are linked to names of pagan deities. The name that the man that you call Jesus had when he walked the earth was Yahushua. It's the equivalent to the name of the man that the man Joshua wore. Okay, so it's the same name when you get into the roots and you start studying everything out. It's Yahushua. So we have, to all those who received him, he gave authority to become children of Elohim, to those believing in his name. It's a powerful revelation. You need to receive this revelation. Stop fighting this revelation. Why would you fight this revelation? For those of you out there who are kicking against the name and fighting against the name, why do you hate the Father? Why do you hate the Son? Why do you hate their names? Why is it that the Son Yahushua, who walked this earth, is the most famous person that has ever walked this earth? His fame is renowned. Okay, to just about all mankind, yet no one knows him by name, and no one knows his true message, his true revelation, because everyone is so busy trying to interpret it into their language and make him fit their culture. And they are creating their own image when Yahuwah had set up an image for us, as the scriptures is going to teach us as we continue to look. In verse 13, this is talking about those children of Aluahym, to those believing in his name, who were born not of blood, nor of desire of flesh, nor the desire of man, but of Elohim. See, this is talking about a spiritual birth. And the Word became flesh and pitched his tent among us, and we saw his esteem as of an only brought forth of a Father, complete in favor and truth. Yahuwah bore witness of him and cried out, saying, This was he of whom I said, He who comes after me has come before me, because he was before me. Remember, he was before Yahuwah, even though John the Immerser was born before Yahushua. You know? So he was trying to tell the people, this is he whose origins are before me. Though he's younger than I am, he came before I did. And out of his completeness we all did receive in favor upon favor. For the Torah, or the instructions, the law, the teachings, that's what this word Torah means. It doesn't just mean law. You think of law, you think of the guys in blue. You know, you think about blue lights, you think about handcuffs, bars and shackles and whatnot. No. We're not talking about law in that nature. We're talking about teachings, principles, instructions. Okay? For the Torah was given through Moshe, and the favor and the truth came through Yahushua Messiah. Now, the favor and the truth came through Yahushua. He came to this earth, and favor was extended to the children of Yisrael and to the Goyim, or Gentiles, those who would believe in the truth. Okay. Now, I want you to think about, however, if we look in the Old Testament, the Tanakh, didn't Abraham have favor with the Most High? Didn't his descendants, Yitzhak or Isaac and Jacob or Yaakov, didn't they have favor with the Most High for him to establish a covenant with them? Didn't the children of Yisrael and Moshe, didn't all of them have favor with the Most High for him to lead them through the wilderness? Of course, there was favor. Now, this favor comes through Mashiach. Now, we are going to get into the understanding of Mashiach really in depth here. But let's look at verse 18, because this is where I really want to get. No one has ever seen Elohim, the only brought forth of the Son, he did declare. Hold on, wait a minute. No one has ever seen Elohim, the only brought forth Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, he did declare. So no one has ever seen Elohim according to this passage, except for the Son who is in the bosom of the Father, he did declare. Now, what does it mean that he did declare? Let's take all this and go to Genesis, Bereshith, and we're going to look at Bereshith 18.